everyone, this is Miss Stefan. I just wanted to go over with you prepositions, prepositional phrases, and how we diagram them. Just as a review, a preposition is a word that shows the relationship of a noun or a pronoun to another word. Prepositions signal the beginning of a prepositional phrase. Remember that a preposition always has to be with its prepositional phrase. So it will always have its poop preposition and the object of the preposition. It's a good way to remember that, as you probably already remember. For example, my dog slept near my bed. Near would be your preposition, and bed would be your object of the preposition. So you have your entire prepositional phrase there. A preposition cannot exist without its entire prepositional phrase. Always remember that. Okay? Now, when you're diagramming a prepositional phrase, it gets a little tricky because diagramming a prepositional phrase, you have to figure out if it's working as an adjectival phrase or an adverbial phrase. In other words, is it giving more information about the subject of the sentence, or is it giving more information about the verb of a sentence? But before we begin looking at that, let's go ahead and take a look at some sentences. And let's identify our prepositional phrases first. Alright, so let's see. We have the sentence. Go to number 1 here. The flowers in the garden are growing. Let's go old school on this and go ahead and fluffy cloud and all of that good stuff. As you remember, the first thing we want to do is we want to put our prepositional phrases in parentheses, okay? Because when we get rid of prepositional phrases, it makes finding our subjects and verbs just that much easier, because prepositional phrases can be taken out and the sentence will still be completely grammatically correct, okay? So, the flowers in the garden are growing. If you use your cheat sheet, your preposition cheat sheet, you will know that in is a preposition, and since we know it has to have an object of the preposition, what is it in? It's in the garden. So let's put that in parentheses, in the garden. So we're left now with the flowers are growing. Well, that's pretty easy. We know that flowers is our simple subject. What are the flowers doing? They are growing. And we know the is an article, therefore it has to be an adjective for flowers. Alright, so when we're diagramming it, go ahead and make our line here. We're going to have flowers where our subject goes. It has an adjective, has that article. Alright, we have a verb phrase, are growing, send my line there. And now we have to figure out, in the garden, is that describing flowers, or is that describing where they're growing? So look at the sentence, the flowers in the garden are growing. It looks like what it's doing here is describing the flowers. Which flowers are they? They're the flowers in the garden. Alright, so we're going to put this as an adjectival phrase, which means it's going to go underneath our simple subject as we diagram it. Okay, and the way that you diagram a prepositional phrase, you give it a diagonal line and a straight line. Alright, just like that. On the diagonal line, you're going to put the preposition, in this case, in. And then on the straight line, on the horizontal line, you're going to put the object of the preposition. Make sure you're not putting any kind of adjective that goes along with the object. You're just putting the object. Okay, so that would be garden. Alright, now we do have an article there, the garden. So the is an adjective for garden. So we have to do something with the. So what we do is we treat it just like we did with this article. We put it under the simple subject. So here we're going to do the same thing. We're going to create a diagonal line, and we're going to put it under the noun that it modifies. In this case, it's the object of the preposition garden. So there you have it. The flowers in the garden are growing. Alright, let's take a look at one more together. The rock below the water shifted. Again, let's go ahead and put our prepositional phrase in parentheses. The rock below the water shifted. Looking at our prepositional cheat sheet, we know that below is a preposition. All right, what is it below? Below the water. Go ahead and put that in parentheses. All right, so that leaves us with the rock shifted. So I know that my simple subject is rock. What did the rock do? Shifted. And I have an article. Which rock? The rock. All right, so we know that the is describing rock. It's an adjective. Also, it's an article. It's always going to be an adjective. All right, so let's go ahead and diagram this. I'm going to put my simple subject where the simple subject goes, right there, rock. I'm going to put my verb where the verb goes, shifted. All right, I need to put my article in, the, and now we have to figure out, is the prepositional phrase working as an adjectival phrase? In other words, is it giving more information about the simple subject? Or is it working as an adverbial phrase? Is it giving more information about the verb? The rock below the water shifted. So right now I can see that below the water it's telling me where the rock is. Not where it shifted, but where the rock is. It's which rock it is. The rock below the water. Okay, so it's working as an adjectival phrase since it's talking about rock. So we're going to put the prepositional phrase underneath the simple subject since that's what it's giving more information about, since it's being treated like an adjectival phrase. Okay, so we're going to put a slanted line and a horizontal line. On the slanted line goes our preposition, below. On the horizontal line goes our object of the preposition, water. And then we have another article, the, which water? The water. All right, so we know water has an adjective, so we're going to treat it just like we would any other adjective and put it underneath water on a slanted line. All right, look at number 3. That dog around the corner has been barking. I want you to go ahead and take a couple minutes and do that one on your own. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at a sentence where the prepositional phrase is acting as an adverbial phrase, okay? So we'll take a look at number 4. The rabbit hopped through the pretty garden. Go ahead and let's put our prepositional phrase in parentheses. The rabbit hopped through the pretty garden. Looking at our preposition cheat sheet, we know that through is a preposition. We need our whole poop. So we know that garden is going to be our object of the preposition. So through the pretty garden is our prepositional phrase. So we're left with the rabbit hopped. Rabbit is our noun, so it's our simple subject. What did the rabbit do? It hopped. And we have the as an article for rabbit, so it's going to be treated as an adjective. All right, so go ahead and diagram. Rabbit goes where the simple subject goes. Hopped goes where our verb goes. The under rabbit. All right, so let's look at our prepositional phrase. Through the pretty garden. Is it working as an adjectival phrase or is it working as an adverbial phrase here? We need to figure out where we're going to put the prepositional phrase, under rabbit or under hopped. The rabbit hopped through the pretty garden. So I can see in this sentence it's not really talking about the rabbit, but it's talking about where it hopped. It hopped through the garden. All right, the rabbit wasn't through the pretty garden. It hopped through the pretty garden. So we're going to put the prepositional phrase underneath the word hopped because right now it's acting as an adverbial phrase. Okay? And adverbs modify verbs, adverbs, and verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. So we want to put it underneath the verb here. So draw your diagonal line and your horizontal line. There you go, just like that. On our diagonal line put your preposition. Not the right kind of tiny there. And we're going to put our object as a preposition on the horizontal line. And we have two more words in that prepositional phrase, the and pretty. So we know the is an article, so it's going to be an adjective. And pretty is describing garden. All right, what kind of garden was it? It was a pretty garden. So we need to put both of those adjectives underneath the word garden. And I didn't give myself enough room here. All right. So we have both of those adjectives under the word garden. All right. The second one there, the plane flew above the white fluffy cloud, the plane flew above the white clouds. And has Lucy been reading at the library? Go ahead and try those two on your own. I will give you a hint though. Both of those are working as adverbial phrases. I want you to be able to see why both are working as adverbial phrases though.